We've all been there, stuck in a highway traffic jam, staring at a sea of brake lights, and wishing we could just lean the seat back, close our eyes, and let the car take over. We see headlines about self-driving breakthroughs every day, yet for most of us, we're still legally required to keep our eyes glued to the pavement. There is a huge gap between the dream of a nap and the reality of the road. Part of the problem is that driving feels automatic to us. We do it without thinking. But for a computer, driving is actually a massive, non-stop checklist of complex chores happening all at the same time. Achieving true self-driving is a slow, methodical process of teaching a machine to cross off every single one of those chores, so that eventually the human doesn't have to do any of them. That checklist starts with perception, the car's ability to see. It must identify the road, read street signs, track other cars, and predict where a pedestrian might walk before they even take a step. Next is motion planning. This is the brain work. The car has to decide which roads to take, when it's safe to change lanes, and how to navigate a crowded intersection without a scratch. Then we have the actual physical work. First, the car has to handle steering. This is what keeps the vehicle centered in its lane and allows it to follow the natural curves of the road as you drive. The second physical chore is managing speed and braking. The car has to decide exactly how much power to give the engine to keep up with traffic, and exactly how hard to hit the brakes to stop safely. The industry uses a 5-level scale to measure progress. You can think of it as a grading rubric that counts exactly how many of these steering, speed, and seeing tasks the computer can handle without your help. At level 0, you do everything. At level 1, the car helps with just one task, like adaptive cruise control, which manages your speed on the highway while you handle all the steering. Level 2 is a big milestone. Here, the car takes over both the steering and the speed at the same time in specific situations, like on a well-marked highway. Even though the car is physically moving itself, you still have to be the boss. As you can see on this dashboard, the car explicitly wants you to keep your hands on the wheel at all times. This is because Level 2 systems aren't designed to handle surprises. If a piece of debris falls off a truck or a car suddenly cuts you off, the computer expects you to be the safety net that takes over instantly. Level 2 might look like the car is driving itself, but the legal and physical responsibility for everything that happens still rests entirely on you. To move past that, the car needs to master the ability to spot a sudden emergency and react to it correctly. It has to see a hazard and decide whether to slam on the brakes or swerve to safety. That brings us to Level 3. At this stage, the car handles those emergency reactions itself. In very specific scenarios, the system is reliable enough that you can actually look away from the road and check your email. This luxury sedan is a great example. It's designed to navigate slow-moving traffic jams on its own, allowing the driver to relax while the car handles the stop-and-go grind. But you still can't nap. If a Level 3 system gets confused or the traffic speeds up, it will chime and demand you take over immediately. You have to stay awake and ready to jump back into the driver's seat. Level 4 is a major jump. Here, the car can handle every emergency on its own. If you don't respond to its request to take over, the car is smart enough to pull itself over to the side of the road and stop safely. However, Level 4 has strict boundaries. As this map shows, the car is often restricted to a specific safe zone, like a single neighborhood or a city center, where the weather is predictable and the roads have been perfectly mapped. You can see this in action with Waymo's fleet. These cars can drive passengers without any human in the front seat, but they only do it within their pre-approved, strictly defined zones. Level 5 removes those zones entirely. It has all the emergency handling skills of the previous levels, but it can use them anywhere, on any road, in any weather, with no human help required. Getting rid of those geographic boundaries is the final hurdle. When a car can navigate a blizzard on a dirt road as well as it navigates a sunny highway, we've reached the point where you can finally sleep through your commute. To figure out where any car stands, use this simple 3-question checklist. First, who is steering and braking? If you have to keep your hands on the wheel, the car is only at Level 1 or 2. Second, who handles the surprises? If the car needs you to take over the second an emergency happens, it's Level 3. And third, where can it drive? If the car is stuck inside a specific map or a safe zone, it's level 4. If it can go anywhere on Earth, you've found a level 5. In the real world, most cars you can buy today are still at level 2. Truly driverless cars exist, but they are currently guests in our cities, operating under very specific rules. Getting to that final map is a slow process of handing over our human intuition to a machine, one chore at a time. We're getting closer, but for now, keep your eyes on the road.